Hello everyone, and welcome to the reading of Digimon Liberator Debug.9. Similar to my previous readings, I'm not a professional voice actor and I'm just one person doing their best. So if the voices change episode to episode, or even just paragraph to paragraph or line to line, I'm just doing the best that I can. I recommend still heading to the official release on DigimonCard.com if this is your primary way of consuming the Liberator web novel. Partially so Bandai still gets the site visits, but also because the majority of chapters, like Digimon Seekers, have art, Liberator also has actual visuals of any new card that's mentioned. While the mechanics of these are included in the reading, if you want to see the card itself, head over to the official novel release over on DigimonCard.com. However, this chapter is a little bit different from previous chapters. It's not separated into two parts, it's just chapter 9. It's not chapter 9 part 1 and part 2, it's just chapter 9. It's also the only one that was released last Thursday, and it also doesn't have any special art like the previous chapters. So, a little bit different, but it's still more or less the same length as the previous chapters / parts. And with all that out of the way, let's continue on to Digimon Liberator Debug, Chapter 9. Debug, Chapter 9. Within Lacuna's Emerald Coast, the invasive forest city, there is a small space nestled away. A unique, dreamlike place that emerged at an intersection between areas, with cherry blossoms in full bloom. It can't be visited under normal circumstances, and if not for the game behaving unusually, as if bugged, it might have been years before anyone had found it and fixed it. Its very existence seemed coincidental, but that goes even more so for its visitors. The first was Jesmon, a knight of salvation who came to Lacuna from another world by accident. Realizing that the space was safe from Lacuna's poison and the eyes of the administrators, Jesmon established it as a sanctuary for Digimon with nowhere else to go. The second was a player who triggered a bug purely by chance. But it wasn't just any player. She was a debugger, a member of a team who helps Lacuna keep safe and secure. Jesmon's resentment of humans led to a battle, which she won, and the two of them ended up becoming friends. Now that Digimon Liberator's administrative authority has since been rewritten and Lacuna is in the hands of the debugging team's special consultant, Unchained, the sanctuary serves as the debugger's base of operations while they strive to set things right. It's hard to shake off the feeling that too many pieces fell into the right place here. It can't have been just a coincidence. Was it somehow inevitable? Perhaps there is an unseeable, unyielding force of justice that caused the debugger to come across the sanctuary that day. That was what was going through the mind of Huckmon, a steely white mini-dragon. It shook its head. It didn't feel right to ascribe such things to fate. The reason it accepted the girl and her partner was because they acted in a way that really was true to themselves. But if things had panned out even just a little differently, the debugging team couldn't have come here, and it had been curtains for Digimon Liberator. And so, thanks a ton, Huckmon, seriously! Yuki expressed her gratitude with a hug, flustering Huckmon. Hey, back off! There are limits to friendliness! It thought to itself, just as Itmon was looking peeved and perhaps jealous of the object of its partner's affections. Huckmon couldn't help but smile at how blithe they all seemed, acting casually while having the fate of Lacuna in their hands. Hey, what are you smiling at, goody-goody? Oh, nothing. Perhaps the word that best describes this turn of events isn't coincidence or inevitable, but miracle, thought Huckmon, as it weighed up the burden of destiny they now bore. Digimon Liberator Side Story, Debug, Chapter 9, Departure. Is it really okay, though? Yuki tilts her head. When she came to report what was unfolding in Lacuna, it was Huckmon who offered the sanctuary as a base of operations. This took Yuki completely by surprise, as she knew of Huckmon's reservations about Cool Boy, who appeared to have abandoned the world it came from. But Hakmon gave its head a light shake and waved away the question. "Don't make me say it twice. It's what we decided. All of us. The little ones want to help too, having seen the effort you're putting in." Hakmon looked back and saw the debugging team's Digimon playing with the sanctuaries in training and rookie Digimon. Some of them were still a little awkward around humans, but they're genuinely curious about them and happy to interact. Moreover, the debugging team showed what it's capable of in the battle against the Emperor Dragon of Calamity. I still have things to say to Cool Boy, but I understand that you truly intend to defend the world, and to abandon those fighting for such a cause would be to dishonor knighthood itself. Alright, this is going to be massive for us. Great, so can we stop talking about this? We need to get down to real business. As Itmon speaks, it pokes the smiling, reassured-looking Yuki in the side. The little devil always seems a bit grumpy while at the sanctuary, perhaps due to not being a big fan of Hakmon's composed and righteous personality. "That's true. There's something I'd like to ask you, Hakmon." "There is?" Yuki nods. "Yeah, it's about the world that you came from." "Cross Connectia." Hakmon slowly mutters the name of the game Yuki indicated, looking up at the sky as if focused on something far off. "That is what Cool Boy called that world. I'm sure of it. That's where I was before I came to Lacuna. I thought as much. So Cool Boy is trapped in that world." "Yeah, that's what Yao said, and she's pretty high up member of the team." When Yao told Yuki that there was an MMORPG predecessor to Digimon Liberator, the first thing that came to her mind was Hakmon. "But then that's a good thing. Cross Connectia ended up never being released as a game, but that was because Lacuna was discovered. Yao said that the plan was to remove the poison in Lacuna and make it a habitable environment for Digimon. Then Digimon from Connectia would come." "Ah, well, that makes sense." Cool Boy hadn't abandoned Cross Connectia, as Hakmon had worried. Yuki did feel like they should have let Hakmon know, but maybe they just didn't want to get their hopes up. "Well, it's true. Cross Connectia isn't that big of a world. It makes sense that he'd prioritize Lacuna's maintenance in order to be able to help more Digimon. I'm not going to say that I have no grievances with whatsoever here, but for the time being, I'll put my suspicions to rest." Hearing that, Yuki breathed a sigh of relief. However, Hakmon then continued on. "But what was the Digimon that attacked us?" "Oh." Surprise escaped Yuki's lips. After Cool Boy stopped visiting Cross Connectia, it was attacked by a mysterious Digimon. Hakmon, evolved into Jesmon, just about succeeded in driving it away, but ended up being sent to Lacuna as a result. "It was a mechanical Digimon, one that you've never seen." "Which is strange, given my role as guardian of our entire world. Anyway, if it wasn't sent by Cool Boy, then what caused its attack?" "Is there any reason to think it was anything other than one of Unchained's Digimon?" "You might be right, considering Unchained's deviousness. Still, what could have been the objective?" "How would I know?" Itmon rapidly rebuffs the question, and Yuki gasps. "So, let me get this straight, Hakmon. There was a certain Digimon you were protecting in Cross Connectia, right? And that was also a Digimon that you've never seen before?" "Yup, a beast Digimon, wasn't it? Seems plausible that it could have been the attacker's target." "Well, I suppose I should tell you. The Digimon is essentially the god of Cross Connectia." "God?" "That's right." Hakmon looked Yuki straight in the eyes as it spoke. "Its name is Delphimon." Delphimon, a god residing in Cross Connectia. Hakmon and the others were originally from the digital world, and they had never seen that kind of beast Digimon before. An extremely powerful, yet totally gentle Digimon, and it was clear that its presence was what was maintaining the world's balance. I took it upon myself to protect it. Then it's really that powerful? It is, and now that Unchained has taken control of Lacuna, they might target Delphimon again. "That's legit scary! We gotta help!" Yuki unconsciously rises to her feet. Seeing this makes Itmon let out a sigh. Hey! Our mission is to rescue Coolboy and Zenith, or did you forget? We don't have time for this, or anything else. That may be so, but if you ask me, we should help with this too. I'm not surprised to hear you say that, Yuki. Hakumon softly says this with a happy look on its face. It smiles at Itmon and continues. And I would deeply appreciate it if you could check in on Delphmon. However, I have some words of warning. Oh? When I fought to protect Delphmon last time, I didn't do it alone. I had help. Naturally, given your teamwork skills, my allies were reliable. But, to be frank, they're the stubborn type. I imagine they believe even more firmly than I did that humans had betrayed us, and are even more resentful. Wait, if that's the case... Hakumon nodded to Itmon, whose eyes widened. Right. It's possible that Coolboy and your allies now in Cross Connectia are an increased risk. They went about half an hour ago, yes? Yeah, they went ahead. Our plan is to meet at the spawn point. Time doesn't pass the same way in Cross Connectia as here. Very differently, in fact. That 30 minutes has been perhaps half a day there. Wait, what? No one told me this. How have I not heard of this? Out from behind the flabbergasted Yuki came the familiar voice of Yao. Oh, yes, sorry about that. I was just about to tell you that myself. But they're all super tough. They're sure to be fine, right? Well, in any case, let's join back up with my teacher and the others. After getting Yao up to speed about Hakumon and the sanctuary, as she was leaving, Yuki thrust her finger up towards the sky. Before Winner's group entered Cross Connectia, Yao had let them know that time passes more slowly there. However, amid a series of urgent events, Yao had forgotten to inform Yuki, but as Yuki considered it now with more composure, she realized it wasn't necessarily bad news. It means there is effectively more time to search for Coolboy. She's anxious about the Digimon protecting Delphmon, but Winner's group are all highly capable. It's not likely that they'll be defeated easily. Still, something feels kinda ominous about this. We're probably alright. Don't be so relaxed, Yuki. If we mess this mission up, it could be the end of Lacuna. You do realize that, right? Of course I do. This is an all-important mission, and failure is not an option. Then why do you look like you're enjoying this? Facing Itmon and its look of dissatisfaction, Yuki lets out a laugh. Yuki, I'm serious. It's a new world with Digimon we haven't seen before, and we have no idea how this is all gonna play out. You're totally right, and that's exactly why it's gonna be so much fun. I can't even. I just can't. Itmon shrugs its shoulders at Yuki as if astounded by her response, but also seems to inwardly agree with the sentiment. That floating-like sensation you always get when you log into Digimon Liberator. It's as if Yuki, the mind, has been separated from Yuki, the physical body. It feels kind of the same as always, but also a little different. She thinks to herself, eyes closed. At that moment, a green-coloured wind, different to the quiet winds of the Emerald Coast, gently brushes her cheeks. A wind full of the breath of life. Suddenly, her eyelids flicker, and she takes a deep breath. It's as if she's trying to make sure she takes in every last bit of the wind. Opening her eyes, she exclaims, Cross Connectia! Nice to meet you! Finding herself at the top of the cliff, she looks down at the green ground before her as her hair sways. She's never seen anywhere in Lacuna that looks like this. Yapping again already. Hearing the voice coming from below, she looks down. All set. She can't set out on a new adventure without your trusty partner, can you? She remembered someone saying something like that. Everything's perfect. The wind is lovely, my partner's by my side, and I just look so friggin' cute today. Itmon, time to get things started. Yuki, this is a cliff, this isn't safe. And so, breathing together as if one body and mind, they set out on this new adventure in a strange land. To be continued. And that is it for Chapter 9. Again, no special unique art on DigimonCard.com, but still head over there just to get the official website, the clicks and site visits, so Bandai knows that people are reading it. So you can contact me and stay updated. You can leave a comment on this episode on YouTube, join the conversation. And for a full list of ways to find the podcast across the internet, such as YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Twitter, head over to my link tree, which is linktr.ee/LostinTranslationmon. If you enjoy the podcast or videos or even my silly posts online, you can show support by signing up on Patreon and get some cool rewards and help me hit some milestones. And thank you to my current supporters on Patreon, Stephen Reeves, who is Wild64 on Archive Our Own, Kadawashi, Chisai, who can follow on Twitter at Chisai236, Neobu, who says she should follow Chisai on Twitter at Chisai236, Lizmet, who is Lekman on Tumblr, Nicholas, Magnus, Lucas, Jasonmon05, Patrick, Jason, Shelby, Digital Hazard, who is on Twitch at The Digital Hazard, Droppymon, Vmon Tamer, Kasai, Big Bad Beetleborg, Bent, Archer, and Cappy. You can also make one donation on PayPal, which can be found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/airdramon. You can also donate to me on my Ko-fi account, which is ko-fi.com/airdra. And again, thank you so much for listening. If you are watching/listening on YouTube, do the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, etc., etc. And of course, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!